Tonggo doje jaja razan ro jinja mado doja banjam ba serja lambo dabar jebega shakje jabu jadong go jon zor dorjen janjan dalo naro da ma ba ma la jeje gambo ba pamo jaba jawan do gonga kaju lama nan je da jo je Dana Zara Damja da Lama Lava La Jizozon, Lozon Yonden Jamzong Alava, Tindra Donjindra Begale Zo, Dagelo, Chizon Rover Zinja Labdos, or Chua Lamdun Rover Zinja Labdos. Lamdra Zebra Zinja Labdos, Drava Yizan Javar Zinja Labdos. Kanga denjan jawan jong ngoma me ba je me ba che ba me ba da me ba wa me ba ro me ba da de do me don je me je ba ne je dan ba zo ba san je ma nan je dan ba de la xiang zar de真心早晚了嘛，姐姐古松都接近了，大概就了不得，大概天把当生姐姐当家亲帮着把儿孙接老都说。Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? I can hear you and I can see you, and I love you all and I respect you all. Actually, I teach on 7 branch, and already taught homage, offering, confession. So today I'm going to teach rejoicing. If you have this blue book, page 53, I rejoice in the meritorious deeds of all the Buddhas as well as those performed by the Bodhisattvas, Patriarch Buddhas, Arhats, those who are in the path of training, those who need no more training, and by all sentient beings in 10 directions. First, I would like to give the definition of rejoicing. Rejoicing means when you see others' virtues and merits and also good things, you are happy. You can rejoice with Buddha, and also you can rejoice for animals when you see their good qualities. Did you see their qualities? Good qualities? Yes, right? We see. So they are the teacher of our rejoice. Actually, rejoicing is the antidote to jealous. Jealousy is a combination of anger and desire, because first you become attached to wealth, beauty, fame, knowledge, opportunity, and other things. And then you see that other people have these things and you are unable to control your mind. Then you act destructively. Jealousy is a serious thief of our peace and happiness. It also decreases our merit. If you would like to be liberated from this serious affliction, the serious affliction of jealous, then we should practice rejoicing. Usually, we accumulate the greatest virtue in relation to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. But in this case, if you rejoice in something that had made you jealous, that has great merit. That has a great merit than rejoicing in Buddha, because it is unlikely you will become jealous of the Buddha. I never heard like that before. Then the anger is hotter than fire, and jealousy is a spark of anger. So whenever this spark flares, it burns. And rejoicing is like a magnet. Magnet is pull something that draws good things to you from others. In the Sukhavati prayer, it says, if when you hear of others' practice, if you give up being jealous of that, and instead rejoice, their merit you will receive equally. So this is in the Sukhavati book. I think everybody has that book. We all have. May you have. And here I would like to share a story. Once there was a renowned king who had a great daughter. She was princess because her father is king, right? But the king was very upset, because his princess was very ugly. Maybe more than me. He couldn't show her to anyone because he is king. He was king. Then he kept her like a prisoner. But then she grew up, and it was time for her to marry. Usually, a princess marry with a prince, in traditionally, right? I think, yeah. But she couldn't find any prince because of her her looks. Her father king ordered a common person to marry her. Father king told him, "You must never tell anyone she is my princess. And you must never take her out in public, because public maybe know she is her princess." His. Always keep her inside, the father king ordered him. The common person replied to the king, "Yes, of course. If you order me marry a female dog, I would do that. So I will do everything you say," because he respect or he afraid or whatever is happened like that. Then this common person, commoner married the princess, and he always kept her like a prisoner as the king ordered. One day he went to a celebration of his village, and the villagers always doubted that perhaps his wife is so beautiful, so he couldn't show her in public. Perhaps she is very ugly or something else. They doubted. At the celebration, they gave him more and more drink. And then he became drunk. He cannot stand up, like he became drunk. And then some of them, they stole his key from his belt. Then they went towards his house to see his wife. But his wife spent her time in sadness because he lived as a prisoner and she felt she is so ugly. But she always supplicated to the Buddha. She always supplicated to the Buddha sincerely, purely. She supplicated to the Buddha. And then due to the other cause of her karma, happens, and then she suddenly, Buddha appeared to her. In order to she saw Buddha. And then first she saw Buddha's hair, and then she completely rejoiced, Buddha's hair. And then she saw Buddha's face, and then she rejoiced. And then she saw Buddha's whole body. Then she, after she saw Buddha's whole body, then she purely rejoiced in them. Purely rejoiced. The power of her rejoicing transformed her into a very beautiful person. So in the karma, we have 3 classifications, right? Some karmic result happens in another life. Something is just happened in the momentarily. So then Buddha disappeared after that. The villagers who had stolen the key come into house. They saw how beautiful she was. They said to each other, "Now we know the reason her husband never bring her anywhere. is that he is afraid someone may steal her away. Just they talk to each other. Then they locked the door as before and returned key to her husband's belt. And then her husband returned home, and he saw she had become unbelievable beautiful, unbelievable beautiful. Then he asked her what happened. Of course, she described how she saw the Buddha, and then a whole story she shared with him. Then her husband and their princess, they decide to share this with king, her father king. When the king heard of his daughter's transformation, he was so happy, of course. He was so happy, and then he suddenly invited them joyfully to the palace, right? Then then they talk about this, how she transformed into a beautiful person, and then they all strongly devotion, and then they all went to the Buddha, and they bowed their heads to the Buddha's feet, and then they all become Buddha's disciple. So this story comes from Sutra of Buddha's teaching. I already mentioned it, there are many stories, so now I pick some of these stories. So the rejoicing has that power, really that power, just as a small film of candlelight can remove eons of darkness, right? Similarly, the power of rejoice remove a lot of bad karma, and the fruition or result immediately ripen. So we all have experience with jealousy, and nobody wants that feeling. Nobody wants, actually, but yeah. So we should all rejoice. So that's why in this text we have the practice the rejoice. Okay. I hope you are clear about rejoice. Then the second is beseeching.
No, requesting.
Oh, requesting. Yeah. Rejoicing and requesting. Oh, fifth. Requesting. I iterate the enlightened protectors who have attained the detachment of Buddhahood and eliminate the words of the 10 directions to turn the peerless way of Dharma. This section describes requesting to turn the way of Dharma, right? Actually, I think this is everybody heard before many times, but when Buddha attained enlightenment, then first he said that I have realized a profound Dharma that is clear, vast, and deep. If I teach these to others, they will not understand, so I will remain in the forest alone. After Buddha attained enlightenment, he said that. And then the king of God, Indra, king of God came and he offered a conch coil to the right and other auspicious symbols and requested Buddha to teach. And then actually, even if he hadn't offered these auspicious symbols, but Buddha would have been ready to teach, but Buddha allowed his aspiration to blossom. Then Buddha started, he requested to Buddha, then Buddha started to teach Dharma through the Four Noble Truths and so on, right? So still we have this tradition of requesting teaching. For example, Marpa went to the India to receive Dharma. He endured many hardships on the way. Also, Molarity and many these masters, they endured many hardships to receive Dharma. But then here I will share more about this auspicious symbol of auspicious, how he offered, and what's the meaning of this. So I would like to explain on there, because we often see them in ceremony, but maybe we don't know what are they. First, Indra, this is the king of gods, his name, offered a parasol. Everybody knows parasol, right? Parasol, then Buddha accepted that gift as an auspicious representation of his teaching, protecting all mother thinking beings from the heat, right? Heat of the three poisons. So Buddha accepted that. Then second, Indra, king of God, offered a pair of golden fish. Buddha accepted it as an auspicious representation of his teaching, giving mother thinking beings the eyes of wisdom. And then third, Indra offered a golden vase. Buddha accepted it as an auspicious representation of his teaching, filling mother being's mind with Dharma knowledge and merit. Fourth, Indra offered a lotus. Buddha accepted it as an auspicious representation that his teaching would show that Buddha nature is within the minds of mother beings, but it isn't mixed with afflictive emotions. afflictive emotion just cover Buddha nature, but it does not mix, right? Then 5, the Indra offer a conch coiled to the right. Buddha accepted that gift as inauspicious representation of his teaching being melodious to mother being's ears. And 6th, Indra offered endless note. I hope everybody know. I think no, right? Everybody saw these symbols, so then you can measure which one is that. Right now, I cannot make with my fingers. If I have superpower, I just show you, boom, like this. But half I share with you, half depend on you. So Buddha accepted this endless note as an auspicious representation of his teaching, accomplishing the goal of self and others. The 7th, Indra offered a victory banner. Buddha accepted that gift as an auspicious representation that through his teaching, mother beings will conquer, right? Conquer the 4 maras and become enlightened. So we all have Buddha nature. We say we all have Buddha nature, but I think right now we don't. It is good if we think, oh, we have a cause of Buddha. But if we think carefully, we have Buddha. We have Buddha. This is not only cause of Buddha. I think we can say that. The sun is always in the sky, but sometimes it's covered by clouds. When these clouds disappeared, then sun is always there. Similarly, so then this king of gods offered these auspicious the symbols, offered Buddha, and then Buddha started shining the brilliant light of his teaching from the boundless sky of his omniscience. So Buddha has this omniscience. We call wisdom. What is different, wisdom and omniscience? Wisdom is still not mutual or blossom or ripening completely. So at that time we call the wisdom. Omniscience meant completely blossom, become blossom, or so. But sometimes the synonym, right? Synonym, wisdom and omniscience, synonym. Buddha's omniscience is wisdom. It is also omniscience. Right now, our wisdom is wisdom, but it's too early to call omniscience. But sooner or later, we can call it the omniscience. Okay? Yeah, this is the, I think, requesting. Then 6th, beseeching. With folded hands, I beseech those who attain the manifest the final nirvana to remain for as many eons as there are atoms in all the worlds of the benefit and happiness of all living beings. This beseeching to remain describes disciples' wish for spiritual teachers long life. Yes. So I think I want to tell you this part. In traditionally, we offer Buddha's statue to the Guru, and we offer volumes or Dharma teaching. We offer stupa. So what else? What are them? What's the meaning of them? So I will explain through this way. First, so we offer Buddha's statue to the Guru so that his body remain healthy. Then we offer volume, right? Volume of Buddha's teaching so that the Guru's voice remain in good health. We offer a stupa so that Guru's mind remains joyful. So that Guru's mind remains, the mind and body speech remains healthy and joyfully. Then, of course, we receive many teachings and blessings, right? Actually, we offer something to the Guru, but the benefits comes back. So we accumulate many mantras so that our Guru's activities flourish in the mind of disciples. So we say we recite mantra for Guru, but then that means Guru's activities are flourish in the minds of all disciples. Also, we offer this Buddha's statue, volume, and stupa. So these three representations of Buddha's body and speech and mind, because Guru is the embodiment of Buddha, right? The Guru is the embodiment of the Buddha's body, speech, and mind. So we request them to continue to stay with us. Since they are embodiment of Buddha, and we will still in samsara. Because, in this samsara, if we have other powers, any kind of powers, they cannot help to liberate from the samsara. So only Guru's helps to liberate. So let me say that, but this is not only I say. This is often we have this example. So I think this is a good example I bring here. So we are like blind people lost a desolate place on the edge of a cliff. The Guru is the only one with eyes. So also Dharmakaya is like the boundless sky. The Gurus are like rain clouds. Their teachings are like the rain. If this rain does not fall on the fields of our minds, then fruit of happiness and joy will not ripen. Making offering when requesting the Gurus to remain is good, but the most important thing is keeping samaya purely. pure samaya is like a clear water, clear point. The Guru's blessing is like the moon perfectly reflected in the still water of the pond. Breaking samaya is like making the water agitated and dirty. The moon reflection will disappear. So keeping samaya purely is very important, right? Our Buddha nature is in space of our mind. We can, our Buddha nature is in order to say, Buddha nature is in our mind, the space of our mind, but we cannot find it by digging the shovel. If we dig, try to get that, we cannot find it. Also, we cannot find it with a metal detector, right? Metal detector. But we can only find it through the spiritual teachers' introduction. Introduction, the Dharma, and introduction, the Buddha nature. When we find the diamond of Buddha nature from the space of our minds, then we can radiate rainbow colors to the eyes of Mother Sentient beings. Because at that time we have become embodiment of Buddha. Yeah. Okay. That's the reason. For those reasons, we are going to beseeching and requesting teachings, right? Then the seventh, dedication. May whatever small amount of virtue I may have gained from prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, and beseeching be dedicated to attainment of perfect enlightenment. This section describes dedication. The dedication is so important. Actually, I want to tell you more detail the letter about this. So when we practice, that time we have two responsibilities. Beginning of end. Beginning responsibility is to generate bodhicitta and compassion. The end of practice, we have to dedicate. Have to dedicate those virtues. If we dedicate those virtues, then our virtues always we can use this life and another life, even though after we become enlightened, still we can use those merit. So it is related on dedication. In order to, the dedication means we are giving our virtues. Right now, the dedication means we are giving our virtues, right? So before we dedicate, we have to practice but there are little different, some other part of the, we can dedicate some parts. So later I will teach you. Then once we have gathered virtue through our practice, we can give it for the benefit of mother sentient beings. Also, we know if we pour water to this flower, then this flower growing, then we see this beautiful flower, right? Why we put here flower? We need it. If we don't pull water, if we don't care this water, this flower, if we don't add like dirt, so then this flower slowly disappeared, or this flower will not grow. So similarly, if we have to growing our virtues, we are going to dedicate. We are going to use our fruition of virtues, we have to dedicate. If we have to remain this result of virtue, then we are going to dedicate. So dedication is very important. Actually, this is often happened. During the beginning of practice, we do a lot, Then main practice, we do a good thing, but the time to dedicate, everybody like in a rush, like that, So this is, I think, we have to really change. Lord Jigdiel Sungo also say, Jingho andala nintinzu in his fivefold of Mahamudra. He said, Jingho means dedication. He emphasized on the dedication. So the main benefit of doing this, the dedicate, is that our merit will endure until we get great results. Great results. The main thing is the dedication doesn't let our merit go to waste. Right? Yeah. For example, if you place dewdrop in the ocean, then until that ocean dries up, that dewdrop will remain. Ocean may not dries up, but that is example. So also sometimes we have suddenly arise some good feeling. Right after we have to dedicate. If you cannot dedicate from your mouth, it's no problem. You can dedicate from your mind. Then this virtue is so powerful. Sometimes it suddenly happens. For example, somebody did a great job and suddenly we rejoice, right, on there, and then we dedicate it. So then this result will become great. But we do not dedicate our merits, it can be immediately exhausted. For example, if we pour a little water on the hot stone in summer, hot stone, then it immediately it will dry, right? But then, so the dedication is very important. Please, since from today, the main reason is how much you understand from my teaching. That is important, but main thing is you pick up one thing from these teachings. Or from the dedication part, I'm going to dedicate since from today. If you can dedicate longer or short, it depends on your time. But you should dedicate. If you understand only this part, then I spend here if I spend here whole day for try to make sense about the dedication, then it's okay. So do you understand? So, since from today I am going to think dedication is very important. So you have to think like that. The you means actually including me. We all. Then still I'm talking about the dedication. There are two perspectives when we practice. One perspective is that we hope our practice will become a cause of enlightenment. Yeah, right? Yeah. Another perspective is that we hope our practice will have result immediately. Whether either of these perspectives actually come to fruition depends on dedication. It is just like having a treasure chest. I don't know how much suitable this example, but I just... So my older teachers, spiritual teachers often gave us like these examples. So I copied from them. I remember I did not copy from their book. I reuse, right? From my mind. So, but the chest is we have different names. So in order to, it's just like having a treasure chest full of jewels, box full of jewels. When we went to utilize the jewels, if we don't have the key to open the open chest, we will not able to be use them, right? Dedication is like the key that allows us to use our jewels of merit. So in our box I have a lot of jewels, then it's time to use them. If we cannot get, then still the almost useless. I don't know all the time, but at that time it's useless because we cannot use, right? So similarly. Also, dedication has two powers. It multiplies the result of virtues. For example, dedication is like a piece of gold that we can melt and paint over many other matters. Do you have this experience? We can paint this, right? We can paint many of them and making them more precious. So in the Mahabodha teaching has one example, Senjurtsu. This is instruction, special instruction. Senjurtsu means the ceremony, the gold, then it's paint over the other things. Anyway, so dedication can multiple. This part, I think we know that, right? For example, I dedicate my merit, and I can dedicate your merit, and then I get result equally. So that's where this is like a piece of gold. And the other power of dedication is that it can yield unending result. Shakyamuni Buddha, only we don't want to talk at the paths of Buddhas, other Buddhas. Sometimes we count three of them, right? But only we think about the Shakyamuni Buddha. Why his teachings remain still remain. It was before the 2,600, maybe 76 years ago. Since that time he taught, but still his teaching is just increase. It increase. Why? This is because of the power of dedication. So we have to know the power of dedication. We have to know the value of dedication, and then we can pay attention. We can pay attention on the, dedication. So I don't remember. I did already told that. Shakyamuni Buddha, he has 32 marks and 80 measures. They are also a result of dedication. They are all related on the dedication. That's why Molarity said that the meditator practicing alone in a secluded place, and the sponsor supporting their retreat will attain enlightenment together. This is through the power of dedication. In the Molarity's song, 100,000 song, if you have time to read them, with inside has this. Also, many Bodhisattvas say the dedication is more important than the main practice, actually. Main practice. Because it preserves and multiply merit. If we have one tree, if this tree has no branch, no leaves, no colors, then I think this tree cannot give oxygen to us. I don't know exactly. We receive the oxygens from trees, leaves or branches, right? But anyhow, if the main things comes from tree, yeah. Then some other ideas, I think you already heard about the dedication, but here maybe you have these questions, may not. If you have, I already gave you answer. So there's some questions. Question means a little bit, question mark. That are how it is possible to dedicate Buddhas and Bodhisattvas merit. Right now we merit that we dedicate, right? Past Buddhas and Bodhisattvas merit, present and future we dedicate. So how we can dedicate their merit again, since they have already dedicated it? So I think we have this question. The reason we can dedicate their merit is that they have given us permission to do it. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they already giving us permission to do it. For example, if you give something to your friends and allow them to give it away, then they can give it. If you did not allow it give to somebody, then it's difficult to give. So similarly, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas already giving us permission. That for that reasons we can dedicate their merits. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, why they did give us permission? The reason is they knew if we again dedicate their merit, it has still power, it has still benefit. That's where we can't. Another question is, of course, we always say that we dedicate the future merit. That means the future Buddha's practice. We dedicate future Buddha's practice, right? So I think you have that question because how we can dedicate before we accumulate the merit, how we can do it. So we can do this, for instance, if we are planning to build a house. We can divide rooms ahead of time and say who is going to live in each room. So this way we can dedicate, and also inconceivable. That means the everything's emptiness. That's why we can do everything. For example, if we have butter, then we can make different designs, different flowers. We can mix with different colors. We can eat, we can melt, we can make butter lamp, and we can make a lot with the butter, right? Similarly, this is the quality of Dharma. So future merit we can dedicate. Okay, and then it is very important to understand that who dedicate merit makes a big difference. Who dedicate? I dedicate, you dedicate, who dedicate? This is a big difference. For example, if we want to sell something, one person can get better price for the item than the other person. Did you have this? We all have this experience? Is it? Yeah. So similarly, who dedicate? This is very important. So in this same way, I mean this example, practitioner who has great bodhicitta, and wisdom, can make dedicate that has more powerful benefit. So who is, whether you are old or young, or whether you are male or female, or whether you are transgender, so whatever. Physically, who are you is no different, no big deal. Main thing is in your mind as a bodhicitta, then it has a great, the more powerful benefit. So you always be, when you dedicate, keep bodhicitta. Before you dedicate, you are very seriously angry for some case, and during the dedicate, you transform into your mind in the real bodhicitta. Try to be there, almost like try to stay there momentarily, dedicate, and then after you okay, harsh word or whatever actions, if you cannot control. If you can control, of course, excellent. But I mean, if you dedicate with some afflictive emotions, then this dedication has still power. For example, you two colors mixed, white and black, white bean and black bean you mixed together. Just to look far away, they're almost like a mixed, but if you come close, you can separate them, right? Similarly, virtues and so non-virtues is the same like that. So Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they always dedicate their merit to all mother sentient beings. So their merit is growing, vaster and vaster. faster. Yeah. And then also, when sometimes you visit some holy place, visit some holy place, so dedicate in the holy place is also very important. Very important means it has a more powerful benefit. And then also, you are with the spiritual masters, and in front of your shrine, it also has more powerful effects. After accumulate virtues, if you do not dedicate them, it will be possible that you will give arise to afflictive emotions like anger and jealous and so on. And then that will cut you off from the ripening of your merit. Therefore, Shantideva says, the merit you have accumulated for 1,000 eons can be destroyed by a moment of anger. But here, let you know that I would like to clarify that. Okay, these Shantideva's verses. This does not mean that your merit is completely lost. It means that it will take time for the result of your merit. Because first you are going to purify afflictive emotion. Then your result will ripen. So I gave you an example. I already gave you that example. In the sky, sunshine, but it's immediately become clouding. Then if we need to use the sun's ray or sunshine, first this cloud have to remove. So that's where this is true. And scientifically, if we examine about that, it is very true. So, yeah. Then there's the last part of this dedication. This is, I think, everybody has this question. Someone asked me on the 37 book, so today I bring here. When we dedicate, without grasping at the merit we have accumulated, this we dedicating it to and to ourselves as inherently existing. So first I want to recite the 37s. As the 37 practice of Bodhisattva's way of life, it says, without wisdom, the other 5 perfections alone are not enough to reach complete enlightenment. Thus, combined with skillful means, develop the wisdom that does not distinguish among the 3 spheres. This is the way of a Bodhisattva. So the 3 spheres, the wisdom combined with 3 spheres, this means a non-conception. Non-conception means not holding on to the concepts of subject, object, and action. So I is also selflessness, emptiness. My merit is emptiness. And then subject, where I dedicate, that is also emptiness. Through this way we dedicate, then this dedication is like a permanent, forever exists there, because we exist it inherently. This is if you pour water. I already gave you that example. If you pour water in the pond, in the ocean, this water remain until dries up this ocean, right? But it is possible, the ocean will dry up. But in my hand right now, in my hand has spacey, right? Space. If I open my hand, this space transform, or this space goes into this other space, this outside space, outside of my hand space. And then this space, we cannot destroy anytime. Always this is. So similar, this is the highest dedication. When you dedicate, you use means utilize the wisdom. This is the highest dedication. If you don't have idea how to dedicate through this way, still you should dedicate. You don't think, oh, I don't know how to dedicate through the highest idea. Then you think, oh, I don't want to dedicate. That is misunderstand. So you should dedicate. Okay. That part is actually they finished about part of dedication, but then we say prayer in Tibetan. Sometimes we make same. We call it homu, but inside there are two names. Ho means dedication, mu means prayer. So then in the English we say prayer, dedication. So more we have clear there. So I would like to talk a little bit on the prayer. The prayer, actually the beginning, middle, and end of practice is combined with prayer. It is good to know that prayer have different power depending on the person who prays. So this actually I already said that during the dedication. But the Bodhisattva's prayer has the most power. The Buddha's, because Buddha is accomplished, successfully and completely accomplished bodhicitta and omniscience. That's where the Buddha's prayer has the most power. Then that next, the prayers Bodhisattvas have power. And then prayers of the Arhatis. And then prayers of your parents. If your parents pray to you, it has great power, because their love is sincerely. So that's where there's power. And then also when we these prayers is we're talking about I'm talking about the prayer books. For example, King of Aspirations prayers of Kundazambo and Shantadevas and other prayers. So sometimes we just say good words. We pray some through our good vocabularies. It is wonderful, but if we use Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and Arhatis, we use their prayer books, and then it has more power because of their bodhicitta, the power of their bodhicitta. Also, I already mentioned it, your parents. Your parents pray for you. It has a great power because their motivation and their love is sincerity. Since they sincerely pray for you, they do not expect something from us. And then also the prayer who support to you, and then they have also power. And then here you must understand that prayer doesn't mean just say something with your mouth. The prayer means in order to it has to involve your mind. Prayer does not mean from the mouth, say something from mouth. Yeah, of course, say something from mouth because it comes from your mind. But sometimes, especially during the silence, actually, during the silence practice, still you can recite this dedication part and the prayer book. But if you want, then from your you can pray from your mind. So if you pray for someone or for yourself, you need to have bodhicitta. The prayers power comes from bodhicitta. Even though you pray something for yourself, you have bodhicitta. First you arise bodhicitta, and then you pray something for yourself too. Also, if you pray in holy place or near holy objects, it has more power, same like dedication. Then this next I will tell you the power of words. If you pray using the words of Buddha and Bodhisattvas, the shorter or longer, for example, the King of Aspiration prayer, it has more power than your own using some words. So this is very important. The meaning is I think you would like to know why the King of Aspiration has more power than your words. This is because the Buddha and Bodhisattvas speaking mostly Dharma. Speaking. They do not engage in a meaningless talk, lying and harsh words and so on. So they speak most of their speaking is Dharma. This is, if we don't say about the mind, still only the words has that power, right? If you pray only once or you repeat many times, it is different. Praying the same prayer pray over and over has more power. You pray only one time or you pray often, the pray over and over has more power. For example, if you met one person only once and never speak to him or her, only one time you speak and then you never speak again with him or her, it is hard to develop closeness, right? But if you meet and talk with a person many times, then your understanding of him or her will grow. So similar, then you do more. It has more power than the only once. Also, your relationship with the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas will develop through your prayer because you understand, you pray their qualities and so on, right? And then they also will, they can help you more since your trust is increased. Yes. But it is important to know that if you recite prayer many times without bodhicitta, you do not accumulate much merit. You just recite many times. There is some power, but not many power. Saying the same prayer only once with bodhicitta has more merit. Clear? The merit of saying the prayer many times without bodhicitta is like the light from many stars in the night. Still, the stars are still lights, right? Stars have still lights, but not like the sun lights and the moon lights or sunshine. Saying the prayer only once with bodhicitta is like the light of the sun during the day. So bodhicitta is so important. If you recite or pray many times with bodhicitta, then this Mother Earth is not be big enough to hold your merit. We rent other planets for your merit. Let me know, okay? It's filled up, your merit filled up this planet, let me know. I called to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, request to, we need more, because we have a lot of great practitioners. Okay, then if, for example, you lost your dog, lost in the forest, or somewhere in the city or some, you pray in the morning to find it, then it is important that during that day you cultivate more bodhicitta, because you need to get back your dog, right? Speak of the Dharma and be honest. If you pray for your dog and then you use harsh word to give up bodhicitta, lie, or use a lot of meaningless speech, and then you do not find your dog, it is not because prayer has no power. You yourself have erased its power. So morning you pray something to accomplish something, and that day, best thing you pray that with bodhicitta, and another best thing is you try to keep bodhicitta at that day. So sometimes we say, oh, we pray, then we don't have power and so on. So this is a little different. So bodhicitta has really so powers. Even though you ask someone to pray something, then you ask who love you. You ask them, and it makes more, this prayer more help you, more support you. Okay. If you pray with bodhicitta, then you have no choice but to attain your wish. For example, in the prayer of Kundazambo, in this blue book we have that, right? It says, whoever reads the prayer Kundazambo will have no choice but to attain enlightenment. Actually, that is small letters. I didn't see in this blue book, but in the other books may have that, maybe. here we talked about the king of aspiration and the prayer of Kunzama, but there are many of prayers. So these are just I pick up the examples. You should familiar with other prayers. With also important to know that when someone close to you pass away, when you pray. When you pray, they can listen, and the prayer can be like a guide for them. Because your love, power of your love, bodhicitta, someone close one who pass, they don't have this form, but in the Pardo root of a Pardo text says, Wangpo Gunsang Tomi Jo. No body, but all the sins. They have all the sins. Tomi Jo means so fast, wherever. For example, right now in Tibet, one person passed away. Here we sincerely pray for that person. Suddenly he or her heard that prayer. Suddenly they can come wherever they go, only except the Pure Land and some place. This is because of karma. Okay, then prayers do not come just from your mouth, but also through mental recitation and spinning a prayer wheel. So here, the benefit of spinning a prayer, I want to tell you a little bit that most of you do that, use them. First is the first prayer, the prayer wheel gathers together the virtues of body, speech, and mind. When spin a prayer wheel, it helps bring focus to our mind. And the wind that comes from the movement of the wheel goes out and brings blessings to everything it touches. Also, spinning a prayer wheel is the best kind of physical therapy. Not only does it strengthen your arms and rest, also accumulate merit. Another benefit of prayer wheel is liberation upon set. This Ngachir Rinpoche said that in his teachings on the prayer wheel. Because it has many mantras, and when people see you spin it, they rejoice. If they rejoice, then your prayer wheel is liberation upon set, right? And here I would like to say a few things about prayer wheel in Gar Monastery. We remain only 5 minutes. I will finish in these 5 minutes, okay? I go fast. Which means you know about this prayer wheel is called Janama. Janama is prayer wheel in Gargun. It has been spinning non-stop for over 8 reincarnations of His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche. Over the 8 reincarnations. But there are long stories, so I cannot finish everything here, and also I think it's fun, some part I share with you. Then how the prayer wheel operates in this present time, I only share about that, not for long story, long ago story. There you will hear the long stories you will hear in another time. I pray. Here I will begin from 1980 onwards. Since 1980, the Gargun Lamas were spinning the prayer wheel continuously. When I was at Gargun Monastery, we had to spinning that prayer well day and night. And every monk has to spend that prayer well at least 1 hour, sometimes 1.5 hours, sometimes 1 hour, each day and each night. Sometimes we have the mountain rock. Some old monks share some stories, and then we bring their tsampa and tea, and then listen the stories. And actually, then the weather is nice. But then it's your time. Somebody call. It's a little bit uncomfortable that, but uncomfortable means anyhow. So we cannot miss in that. For me, but still for me, that during the day was okay. During the day it was okay, but nighttime was very difficult. Because in the middle of the night, I was sleeping tranquilly with a sweet dream. Tranquilly with sweet dream. That for me was pure light at that time. Someone would bang on my door, and then waking me up from my peaceful sleep. Yeah. They knocked loudly. It was also pretty scary, because from my room to the prayer well was not so close. There was no light, actually. In the dark, I would see shadows. At that time, my mind and shadows were not friends. Not friends. But however, every night the shadows were waiting for me, because once night I have to go there, right? Also, the road, I don't know, right now they fixed something. I see some pictures. Otherwise, the behind of this temple is a rock. And then many shadows are serious in the corner, And then somebody leak the water there, like kind of this way. Then, only I can image. I don't know how much I can make sense for you. So the spinning prayer well in the night is not easy. But before I left Gargun, I decided I go many years. I won't come back there for quite longer. That's where then my mind changed, and I spent that whole night. Then I supplicate. I believe, I devote strongly, but sometimes it's a little bored, every day and every night do it. So, but sometimes I fall asleep, and during this spinning that, I fall asleep, and then my head hit the prayer well. And then that makes wake up me. So, no, my head doesn't ache often, so I think it purifies these obstacles. It is like that, really. It's often. But one thing, if I have to spend that 1 hour, then I spend it up, but I look the clock. The clock was so slow. I felt that it's so slow. So that part is how related to me and this prayer well, but I really trust that prayer well. My trust is developed, increased. So here I will tell you about the power of this prayer well. People would come to ask for help, obstacles that arose for them. For example, someone getting sick. Then disciplinary one monk's disciplinary shares their problem to the with the prayer wheel. Prayer wheel doesn't speak, but they share. And then after that, two monks would conch, blow, conch, two conch. That will keep the next to prayer wheel, that prayer wheel. If the sound of the conch was good, then the people would not worry about their situation, serious situation. Exactly, or the mirroring the good sound of the conch, their situation will become good. I mean, in one family, one person got sick. Then they offer some letter, something, asked to pray this prayer wheel, and disciplinary ask that situation to this, please bless something. And then two monks blow the conch 3 times loudly. They do that. If sound will become good, then these families, they listen. Their family say, oh, there's a patient, right? Will recover. They trust, and then it happened really. So, in order to they getting better and something. And sometimes people ask when hell, right? Hell come for it to turn into rain, because they have to protect the crops in the autumn season. Then sometimes the hail become rain. Many people trust, village people trust that. And sometimes their hail just go away at the mountainside. So many people. So the villagers have experienced seeing this happen. Okay. Another special aspect of prayer wheel is the balm that comes from it. This comes from this prayer wheel. Balm. The travelers use the balm to protect themselves. If someone gets sick, other people rub. Everybody rub the balm under their nose. Rub. So they won't get sick. So that's where they more trust, I believe. Also, people put it in the fire, and then they go cycle of the cars and the horse before they travel somewhere. Then they trust, oh, we can remove all obstacles. Still, this tradition or this they practice same. So here, very important thing. Sorry, time is a little bit hour. So recently, many of you received balm from Garchin Buddhist Institute, and you are using it. And Garchin Rinpoche explained about gave teachings about that, right? I think, yeah. So here I would like to share with you how I practice with balm. Quickly, if you like to practice in this way, you can, but it's up to you, okay? First, I pick up a liter of the balm with my ring finger of my left hand, and then I rub, right? I rub a liter under each nostril. Each nostril, I imagine it's blazing, traveling down the right and left channels to the home, which is below the navel. Then I rest there in non-duality for a moment here. And then I place some of the balm on my crown while visualizing the prayer wheel, the Janama, the name of prayer wheel, spinning there. Then I ask it for blessing in order to help Mother Sentient beings. So if you like to do that. Okay, so then prayer, we finished to teach on the 7th branch completely. And then there is some story about the prayer, power of prayer, but I think it's so fun today times. Thank you very much to listen all the teachings. I totally rejoice. And thank you very much to support this the support to having facilities to teaching and everything, and we all spend time for working for teaching online. Many people spend time together, work together. This is for the sake of the benefit of Mother Sentient beings. So I deeply rejoice all of you. And then here, let me verse 61. May every being ailing with disease be freed at once from every malady. May all the sickness that afflicts the living be instantly and permanently healed. O simje ne ba chinye ba nyurde ne la da jur jen trobe ne namalu da den jongwa me bar jo pama simje damje de dan den jur jen en ro damje da de tongwa Chancho samba kanda sarjo ba de da gunja molandra ba jo Chancho semjo rambo je maji ba nam ji jir je ji ba nyam ba me ba ye gong ne gong de pe wa sho. Thank you very much.